Well, hey everybody. I'm so excited to be here today. Today is December 11th, 2019, and this is your Team Prosperity Wednesday meeting. I've got a few short announcements, and I know Mike's put together a great presentation for us. So let me go ahead and pull up my announcements, and let's take a quick look at those. Such a great time to just be exploding with your business right now. You know, being virtual, it really gives us an opportunity to have more activity during like holidays and days off and things like that, which is really amazing. So we're here for you. You know, we can help with anything. You know how to reach us. The few announcements that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure a lot of people have already seen this or done this. Anti-money laundering is due by the end of the year. To check, you can always go into your MyWFG, your suitcase, run a report, and take a look at your licenses and appointments report and take a look when your AML expires. Most people, it'll be the end of this year. Some people, it's the end of next year. So make sure that you need to do it before you do it. And then there's just a click-through compliance certification. It basically takes you through the WFG brochure, and you check a few little bubbles on the bottom. So if you need help with that information, I've got this email, you know, with the direct links. Let me know or let your, you know, upline SMD know, and we know how to help you with that. So let me know if you have questions about that or need help. Really cool that this new final expense solution came out, and I think that the coolest thing about it is the fact that it's all electronic with e-signature, which is awesome because final expense was the very last product, which was yet to go 100%, you know, virtual and digital, and here we are. So I signed myself up for this webinar December 12th, and it's actually with Eric Hahn, who just did some training for us the other day. So I'm excited to check that out tomorrow night if anybody wants this information. And if they want to check it out tomorrow, it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And just to be sure, I went in and checked. When you go to IGO and you pick a state and you scroll down, now we do have that whole life and final expense option inside of IGO, on top of the term with living benefits, the IUL with living benefits that was there before, along with all the stuff from Crump on the life and annuity side is all through IGO as well, just in a different, you know, spot here in your back office. So pretty exciting stuff. I was kind of excited about it. And then the last thing I'm going to say before I grab Mike is, don't afraid to get out there, get on the phone. I just got this, you know, less than an hour ago. These are just recorded meetings and things that I've done on my free conference call. You could see it's been a lot of 61,000 minutes. You know, I talk a lot, so that's definitely believable. And then get yourself out there with the intro call. It's working. The more of these you do, the easier they get. So get to know people, see how we can help them. It's really exciting what we have going on. So let us know how we can help you. Let me go ahead and grab Mike. Give me just 1 second.
All right, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It's December the 11th, 2 weeks to Christmas, a few weeks to the new year, 2020, which don't keep meaning to, you know, pound the same drum, but 2020 and 2021 are going to be huge, explosive years for us. The next 24 months is a key part of the growth curve of this company. And if you play your cards right, the growth curve of your organizational build out, which gets you to the exit point a lot quicker. Let me just really quickly show you, David Chase just had his office built. So I just want to show you guys real quick. When you meet certain requirements, you get your own virtual office. And it's more than just a setting. You know, David from right here or anybody that comes in his office can get around to the rest of the virtual environment. So some cool things here. Office looks good, David. So congrats on that. Got golf in the background, everything David likes. Let's go over and just go through some stuff that will help you guys. Remember, there's a saying that the greats weren't great because at first they could paint. The greats were great because they paint a lot. And that's exactly what you have to do, especially if somebody comes in with zero industry experience. There's a lot to learn, and that's why we break it down on the assembly line. We only want you to master small things at a time. That allows you to get the help that you need to build the business, make the income, have the growth that you need, but it also allows you to learn as you go along. So at a certain point in the future, you can choose to go into those roles or not go in those roles. But remember, the rest of the industry just throws you out there. Whatever happens, happens. There's really no investment behind you. There's no training, tools, support, mentorship. So we allow you to grow. This platform we recognize as hard work, entrepreneurial, and leadership development, but you get to start by getting a whole lot of help in the beginning. So make sure that you take advantage of it coming in and making sure your partners understand coming in the advantage of what we have. Just show up. And, you know, a lot of people have been sick lately, including myself, Alana, my kid. One of the things that we have to understand is we're going to have personal issues that come up, health issues, family issues, relationship issues. Every day, every week, every month is not going to be, you know, our best day, week, or month. But if we just show up, and I postponed a couple of partner calls that are weekly, but outside of that, this past few days, I've made every appointment. Now, have those appointments been great? No, they're not going to make the highlight reel, but I did show up, and that's really where you're going to separate yourself or start to separate yourself from the crowd in this industry, outside the industry, whatever you're trying to do. Just show up on a daily basis regardless and watch what happens. Football tournament ends January 30th. While we're at the WealthWave Leadership Conference, this is an updated scoreboard. Still anybody's game. You know, you can pile on points in a very short period of time with the velocity of this model. So if you have any questions, let us know. January 30th, and you get points for recruits, exchanges accepted, client sales. And that brings us to the Game Changer World Leadership Conference, January 30th, February 1st, 2020. If you can make it, great. We would love to see you, meet you, talk to you, socialize with you. But also, the WealthWave Conference has a great number of people speak, keynote speakers, people in the business, you know, in the trenches with us, building this daily. So you get a good idea of several different aspects of the business model for WealthWave. You'll be talking to people in virtual financial. So it really does give you like an energy boost in terms of really getting excited about the business opportunity. Our partnership with WealthWave was key. Our partnership on the IMO with WFG Transamerica was key, but we're in a position really to take over that platform in the coming years. Also, remember that your lifestyle page came out a number of weeks ago. It's a good page. I use it a lot because in here, you can access the dream video, they can access the industry overview video, company-specific tour video, as well as additional information. It's clean, it's sleek, it's easy to follow and go through, and it looks nice. So the lifestyle page is found in your CRM under your lead capture pages, the very last one, lifestyle page. Also, as a partner comes in, we don't want to overwhelm them with a lot of tasks they need to do, but one thing they have to be able to do, and it doesn't take long to help them understand how to do this, is to operate a screen share and connect a three-way call. There's nothing worse than if you've got a qualified partner that you're excited about and you can't connect the call. It just makes the whole situation look terrible. So 3 things that have to be done immediately: know how to join and host a screen share, and know how to operate a three-way call. And all you need is a couple partners to practice this. Once you do it once or twice, you're good to go. I've got some questions this past week about how do I increase the visibility and the exposure of my Facebook business page. Well, one of the things that you can do is post in your Facebook business page first. Now, you cannot violate the terms of the groups that you're going in. So it's got to be something that maybe is not direct advertising, but as long as you're posting it here in the Facebook business page, then you can go out and share that into groups, and it'll come from your business page, and people right there can actually like your business page from that post. So that's a little insight into maybe getting some more visibility, some more exposure on the Facebook business page, and getting some more likes on that. Remember, guys, you take a lot of time as a consultant with people, going through things, explaining, educating, going through applications. We've made this process so it's seamless from start to finish where you can do everything that you need to do. One of the things that you do not want to start doing is getting frustrated at the end if somebody's having trouble with the electronic signatures and just saying, hey, try to figure it out, I'll follow it up. I'll follow up with you tomorrow. That creates more work for you. Now you've got this list of people that you had closed, you had found a solution to the problem, you've written up the application, now we're chasing them for e-signatures. Spend the extra 5 or 10 minutes with them, walk them through that, stay calm, get the signature. How to organize your day at Virtual Financial. Remember, you've got different things that you need to concentrate on, but essentially you've got the things that you have to do. That's your calendar. And as you become more involved on a managerial basis, if you do consulting, the things that you'll need to understand is that your calendar is the stuff that's set in stone. That has to be done. Inside your CRM, you've got tasks that are direct to you. You've got tasks that are assigned as a manager. So you've got things that are due today as your task, and you've got things that if they have not been done with the previous follow-up date as stuff that's behind. Do that, and you've got your to-do list. But also on top of that stuff, the CRM, you've got your team communication, you've got your business activity, and you've got your marketing activity. And make sure that you've got a good balance of both going on. Remember, marketing, we talked about in the previous couple of weeks, the tier 1, how to go out there and effectively market your business from a partner side, from a client side. So your business activity is things you have to get done. Marketing activity is the things that you need to get done to make sure that business activity continues to flow through. You're just trying to attract people that are going to make good business partners. We're not trying to attract just anybody because that's not the way that we get paid. We're trying to find good, solid business partners that share our vision, have motivation to get it done, and have the grit, the sweat equity that they can put in to make sure they're going to be successful. And also on the client side, and that tier 1 contact, the open virtual front door of your business, allows you to market for both sides. And it allows you to create conversations that can be interchangeable. Partners can become clients, clients can become partners. So just understand the flow, how the circle works, and make sure that you're getting enough marketing material out there, opening enough conversations to have a pipeline getting built. Remember, those contacts that you're making each and every day, they may not result in anything, but ultimately they're bricks. And those bricks, the right ones, are going to build what you want over time and house your clients, your business partners, and allow your business partners to go out there and create independent offices from you. Your online marketing business, really you want to concentrate on your personal development strategy, your vision. What do you want people to know about you, your message? And that leads to your personal branding, target market strategy. How are you going to monetize this strategy? You got to push some content out there. You got to have a follow-up and engagement strategy, and you got to have a traffic strategy. So this is all about who am I, what do I do, why do I do it? Let's share my story, and let's find people that are interested in me and my story to talk to, and let's monetize that over time. And that's really about social media networking prospecting. Remember, building the audience is key because if you don't have an audience, you have very few people to talk to. So you've got to go out there and you've got to build the audience. You've got to expand the audience. You've got to prospect for people that you want to surround yourself with. And you've got to, do the personal branding, the content marketing to educate, entertain those people, and then pepper in advertisements every once in a while. If you're constantly coming with virtual financial advertisements, the message gets watered down. People start ignoring you. If you come with value-based stuff that people want to see and you pepper in advertisements, it's a lot more powerful and effective. And then once you understand organically how some of these platforms work, who your audience is, who your message is, now we can throw some money on there and start to scale that business for you. To grow your social media brand, remember, and we always talk about this, we set up a lot of LinkedIn profiles in the beginning to be about disruption, innovation, virtual financial. But we found over time that, yes, virtual financial is a great brand, but first and foremost, you are the brand. So who are you? What do you like to do? How do you spend your time? Where do you go? Who do you spend your time with? Get real, get authentic, share some of your life to attract the people. Remember, still a people business on the partner and the client side. The digital platforms, the social media platforms are just a way to get in front of more people and open up more conversations. So first and foremost, you are the brand. Secondly, under that, you have business opportunity, you have client needs that you can service, but you want to lead with yourself. And ultimately, all you want to do is open conversations, continue conversations, and direct conversations to a final endpoint where you can make a decision or make a decision with the other party about where to take this. If you're good at opening conversations, but they go nowhere very quickly, then you need to concentrate on continuing that conversation. And we worked on just some simple questions that you can go into a conversation with, allow the other person to talk, which, is really what they want to do, but you're getting that information. And from that information, now you need to direct that conversation to an endpoint. Don't just talk in circles or allow the other side to talk in circles. Kind of lasso them in, get them on some type of a track where there is going to be an endpoint. What allows you guys to come to a conclusion, is this going to be a continuation at a certain future point for a business or a client possibility, or neither? But you don't want to just keep, like I said, like a dog chasing its tail in circles. November 20th and November 27th, we went through on both those days a step-by-step tier 1 guide for all markets: warm market, cold market, social media, and then additionally handling objections, closing language, and asking for the sale. I highly recommend that anybody coming into our team, have access to those as well as the PowerPoints. There's some great stuff there, and I've been getting feedback from a few of you guys that these questions, the way that we're handling these conversations is working, and is gaining a lot of interest in what we're doing by making sure the other side understands some of the things they want to get done we can help with, or some of the things that maybe they haven't got done in terms of a digital plan, a digital marketing plan going into the future that is going to, if they don't recognize that they're being left behind, they will ultimately be left behind. So those questions allow you to take control of the conversation, but also allow the other side to continue to talk, get the information you need, and ultimately direct that conversation. These are the 3 messages that we're kind of beta testing to see what percentage of people off a platform like LinkedIn or Facebook that we can get on the phone for a conversation with one of these 3 messages. Hopefully, we can get this up to 30+% of all incoming connections to be on the phone within one of these first 3 messages. First thing you have to do is, as you're connecting, if you're keeping track, understand that at least 50% of your requests need to be accepted. If it's under 50%, we need to go and revisit the profile. There's something wrong with the way your profile looks, the message, whatever it might be. If you're getting over 50%, now we just want to follow this, an intro message. And that's really sent when the connection is made. You get no response off that. 7 to 10 days after that, send a help message. Hey, I noticed that you're X. I help X get or get more Y. Do you need help with that? And if you get no response to that, the How Money Works message. Now, the intro message is something that needs to be handled by that particular person. It's a get-to-know-you call, intro message, or intro call. But if you have a new person coming on and they get a response back to a help message, they might need help. And that's okay to bring a manager into that phone call to help facilitate, what needs to happen there, because all the help call is about on the first call is they're asking for help about something you sent them. Now we just need to understand exactly what they're doing, what obstacles they're running into, so that we can help them potentially with something we have from our side. So the intro message has to be a one-on-one. Help message and How Money Works message, if your partner is not comfortable handling those phone calls, we will help them. And remember, it's always about getting the videos out. And the videos, either on an intro, on a help call, How Money Works, that's going to serve as an introduction to this business opportunity. If you're using the book landing page, they've got an introduction to the book, they've got an introduction to the industry, and they've got an introduction to our company platform. So it serves as an introduction to the business. It also saves us from ourselves. Can you imagine if a new person comes in and they have to go out explaining all of this? It's not going to work. They're going to get frustrated. It's going to take a longer time. It's going to be a real grind for them. They're going to get overwhelmed and quit. So it allows us just to get the information out, let those videos do the heavy informational lifting for us, and then getting some initial feedback. And also, remember, on the activity sheet, we always want to know how many of these videos did you get out per week, because the videos are a great leading indicator for business growth. Remember, going into those calls, you cannot wing it. You have to be structured. Now, I'm not talking about being robotic. Hey, I've got 6 questions to ask you, ... But it needs to be structured in terms of you got your questions out, you're taking notes, they're talking, but ultimately it needs to be the same thing, because if you're getting into a rhythm of doing the same thing every time, you're going to know by keeping up with data points, hey, this is working for me or this is not working for me. If you go in and just wing it and have a random conversation, you're never going to understand much about your business in terms of these calls of how you're extracting value or if you're extracting value out of them. No matter how short or how long the conversation is, if it's coming to an end, now I'm not talking about if you're sending somebody videos, if they want an F&A, if they've agreed to a future conversation, don't worry about it. But if there's no future conversation coming out of this communication, we want to end the conversation with one last question. Do you pay out of pocket for term life insurance? A, that's going to get us an answer, yes or no. And that yes or no allows us to know two things. They do have life insurance. They pay out of pocket for us, so we're not talking about those group term plans. Now, if they do they know about living benefits? It's a very easy way to open up conversation, and one of the easiest sales that an inviter can make is just opening up this conversation, letting the consultant talk to them. If they qualify for the additional benefits, possibly monthly savings, most people, and I'm not going to say all people, most people will see the value of this and do it. I've actually had somebody, I didn't talk to him directly, but I talked to his wife, and we could get him a longer term, more face value, and all the living benefits for less money. Didn't want to do it. So you never know what's going on with people, what they will agree to or not, but overwhelming majority of people, when they look at what they have, what they could possibly have, they will make that. And if you can make your inviters quit money up front, they're going to get more confident going out there and having the activity. And the reason that we want to do this, it's not just a Hail Mary throw at the end to see if we can get something. It's because there's tens of millions of policies out there that have to be replaced over the next 5, 7, 8, 9 years, whatever it might be. So we came in at a time where we had a digital model, which is great, brings a lot of innovation, creates new value, but there's a product revolution cycle going on, and it's one of the easiest sales we can possibly make. So if you have an office that's asking this X number of times per day, you have multiple offices asking this X number of times a day, you're going to pick up these sales, and it helps personal income, and it helps the expansion of agencies, franchises, and fuels organizational growth for bonuses as well. And don't forget, it's not just about having a new product with new benefits. It's about having a new product with benefits that's very cost effective in the marketplace. If you compare to the supplemental products that somebody can buy versus the LB, it's a huge money saver. So like I said, it's not just about replacing an old obsolete policy. It's about doing so in a very efficient way that gets a lot more protection and it's a lot more value. So you're asking the client if they can qualify to reallocate funds to a better vehicle. And we've given this example before. If we have a 9% mortgage loan, current rates are 3%, we've got the credit to qualify, that refinance can save us money. It makes sense to do that. It's a financially smart and savvy move. Same thing here. Another thing that we have to realize is that I think a lot of the inviters coming in fresh off the test, they don't have the knowledge about some of these products. So to go out there and talk about the IUL is a little bit overwhelming for them. So we want to break this stuff down and just try to get the inviter to understand your job is only in the beginning to create interest and get that call over to somebody that can help not only the potential client, but can also help you build your business and make money. So when you're talking about the IUL, all you really want to know is its financial flexibility, its growth potential, its downside protection, and its income tax advantages. I can let you speak to a consultant or a financial professional, free, no cost, no obligation. No one comes to your home. They can answer any questions about this product or anything else on our broker platform. So remember, it's not about the inner mechanics of all this stuff, and that's confusing for even the client side too. You want to keep this stuff elementary, kindergarten language to build interest, and then let the financial professional go into the details. It's going to give confidence to your new partners as they come in when you can give them things that they can go out and make money with that are not like 3-page scripts. And the more they feel confident, the more they're going to get involved, the more activity they're going to have, and the more opportunity you have to create a long-lasting, mutually beneficial relationship that serves to get to their goals, your goals, organizational goals, company goals as well. It's a state of mind. So nothing's going to change unless you change. And that's really about your new partners coming in. So understanding what we're doing and sharing our same vision is only going to get you a small part of the way there. You just got to keep going through until you don't have to do it anymore. And that's really what our model is about. It is an exit strategy at some point after you put the work in to build your portfolio of digital agencies that can run without you, because like the other companies that we've gone over in the past, we have a defined system that allows, no matter where your virtual office is in this country or eventually internationally, they're going to be doing the same exact thing. At SVP, another reason why you want to only work with a few people at a time is because if you spread yourself out too thin, the right people are not going to get enough of your time, and the wrong people are going to get too much of your time. The right people who deserve your time are going to be people who are working for it, who are making contact with you, asking questions, because those are the people ultimately you want to groom out, spend some time with, that can go out there and run an office. Because after you become SVP, then it's really about creating the distribution channels around this country that you came in with the vision very first. So it's you becoming SVP, you running an office, you working with a select number of people at a certain time to groom them to be able to go out and do this on their own. Remember, they're going to be like infants coming in. They're going to need a lot of help. You cannot get annoyed at the small questions, the numerous phone calls, the emails, the text. I get worried, on the other hand, if I don't hear from somebody, that annoys me. I'd much rather hear from somebody too much in the beginning than not at all. So understand, they're not always going to have so many questions, need so much help, but you got to be that person in the beginning. And you got to teach people how to be proactive versus reactive. You can't wait on the marketplace to come to you. You can't wait on your partners to understand everything. You got to go out there and understand and make them understand inside this business what they need to do, what's expected of them, what they can expect from us. But also in the open marketplace, if you're somebody that's creating a sense of urgency, and then like we talked about last week, you don't follow up 5 to 7 days later, that's not setting a good example for the other side. Be proactive, go out there, be aggressive. You've got a great business opportunity. You've got some key concept strategies and vehicles that can really help the client in the marketplace. Be confident in what you have to offer. Make that come out in the marketplace. With your aggressiveness, come out with excitement as well, because people are going to buy into you first and then buy into what you have to offer. And that really brings me to my next point. If you change your mindset and stop thinking about income and stop thinking about things that are personally, only personal to you, get excited about helping other people reach their goals and dreams. That's both on the partner and the client side. Everything else will take care of itself. Remember, you're not going to build this business alone. You're going to build people, and those people are going to help you build the business. Without a core infrastructure of like-minded people that surround you, you're only going to be able to go so far. The evolution of a business partner. We talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago, but they're going to be very dependent on you. They're going to start to pick up some things, and it's going to become interdependent. So it goes from a hand-holding to a coach and mentoring to eventually they got this. They've nailed the system. They're going out. They're going to still talk to you. You have a business relationship, probably a personal relationship, but ultimately they don't really need you anymore. They can go out and they're paying it forward. They're doing their work. They're creating their agencies. And that's why you have to talk to your partners that are actively working to make it happen. If you're not talking to them, they're going to feel like they're kind of on a desert island. And we always want to say you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. If your partners come in and feel like they're in business by themselves, they're going to drift. So make sure you're open and make sure there's an open line of communication between you. Understanding value, and that's really in the marketplace as well as for your new partners. When you understand the value of what we have to offer on the business side, the client side, and then once people come in as a partner, all the tools, training, leadership, mentorship that we offer, it becomes easy to express really the client and the business opportunity. So some of the things that we talk about, when you talk about value, when you talk about this system, and remember, the system monetizes the efforts of others, which is both a direct cost savings as well as a direct revenue producing component of the system. So if you're a consultant and you're just a single producer and you don't want to make those appointments, you're too busy or you just don't want to do that part, you're hiring somebody at X amount per hour, maybe paying them a bonus if something else happens, but ultimately that's out-of-pocket money for you. That's an expense that you have every month. Well, here, marketer and inviter gets paid on that split sale. So you're not having to come out of pocket for lead cost. The marketer, the inviter is making way more than they ever could selling leads, and they're actually building a legitimate business along the way. So understand what the system means, what the assembly line means to you as well as to your partners. Another valuable part of what we do is successful marketing campaign launch. Coming out of that tier 6, every direct partner that you bring in, we're asking them to do a launch 20. We're asking them to put in 20 names of people that could potentially be interested in this business opportunity, be interested in what we're offering from the client side. So every direct partner that you bring in that comes out of that tier 6 launch, that should be 20 good, solid, warm market leads that maybe policies can come out of, F&As can come out of, interviews can come out of, and then once again, that builds value not only for your organization because you're getting those warm market leads, but it builds value for the new partner coming in. If you can get them off, quick start, making money pretty quickly, once again, the activity level rises, the confidence level rises, the excitement level rises, and that has positive, huge ripple effects for your business. Another value point that we have, and we catch a lot of flack in the open marketplace for being associated with WFG. Guess what? We're happy to be associated with WFG. Our relationship with WFG Transamerica is we piggyback off their IMO platform, the largest in the country. It can help absorb the growth, and that's very important because when we get to that point where the growth explodes, we need an IMO this big to be able to absorb it. If you have the viral growth and you can't absorb it, what's the point? It's pointless. So this company, this IMO, can pay $1 billion, they can pay $4 billion, they can absorb thousands of people coming in. That's important to us. So make sure you understand the relationship, but also make sure you understand how to positively spin our relationship off in the open marketplace when you're talking to people. Also, understand the value of living benefits. And this is the crusade for the client side of our business at this point is living benefits. We want to get this into the hands of as many people that qualify. It's no longer just about life insurance. It's about living life insurance with those benefits that can save us from financial chaos. The percentage chances is from age X to age Y that a chronic or critical will happen. Well, we always talk about, we're not really going to talk about the risks to the people, but we will talk about the consequence because if Mr. and Mrs. Client, you had a heart attack yesterday, what does today look like for your family? You know, do you want to be forced back into a position where you have to go back to work quickly? That could be, an impact on your health negatively. Do you want to be in a position where you're worried about where your next dollar is coming from to pay your mortgage, put food on the table, et cetera? And like I said, what does today look like if it happened yesterday? So this works on both sides of the business. The reason that we're reaching out and helping clients, people don't know these existed. The reason we're reaching out and looking for partners is because expanding to make sure people have access to the best tools, the best products they did not know existed. So our mission, the client side, financial literacy, how money works, these new products, that client need creates the business opportunity. And with the digital model, we're just more efficient than people. As an independent insurance agent, that means you are on your own by yourself. And if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's very important. If you want to look at, let's say, best basketball player of all time, in my opinion, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan would have won 0 championships as a single basketball player with no teammates. So as an independent insurance agent, they got into that position so they wouldn't be under the umbrella of something, possibly be captive. But ultimately, we've got a lot of things that we can offer that can help an independent insurance agent build something where it's not all on them. Because if they go down for 3 months, where's the income going to come from? If they work 10, 15, 20 years and build up a book of business, it's only going to pay residuals and it's not going to grow. It's actually going to decline over time. So understand that an independent insurance agent can continue to do what they do, add this, have an instant digital plan, increase their reach, and have a great team of support that can help them grow. How long? That's really a question that you guys need to understand and be able to ask somebody. How long can this continue? How long before this becomes very disruptive? And that's on the client and the partner side. So how long could you possibly go if income was disrupted in the household? How long do you feel that without a digital plan, your existing business, the model, and the way you do business is going to hold up? What's the consequence of not having a digital plan? So this is the question that we really want to know, and it forces people to become introspective and take a look. Oh my God, I'm in a position where I might be obsolete in terms of the way I do business. Oh my God, I might be in a position where I could, in the matter of just a few months, have a cascading effect where I'm behind on the mortgage, I'm behind on the bills, I run through my savings, I prematurely attack assets, I run up credit card debt just to stay afloat. Digital disruption is a real thing. We're not trying to prove that, and this guy was screaming on the phone the other night to me about face-to-face. It's laughable to me, but if somebody doesn't see what's happening all around them and how this industry is ultimately going to have to change, their business model, the way they're doing business, is threatened by me and our company. They may get upset about it, but ultimately, if they do not change, they're going to be forced to change or they're going to become extinct. So all we're doing is just applying this blueprint to a multi-trillion-dollar industry. That creates massive opportunity. And we're right here, 2020. All safe havens will be subject to digital disruption. So you can see in the mid-90s, it started slow, gains momentum, gains velocity. We're here, guys. It's invading every part of our life. The one thing that digital disruption cannot replace is being real, authentic in your marketing, problem solving, creative thinking. These are the things that we bring in. We crave leadership potential. We crave people who are able to solve problems, who are able to network effectively, who are able to creatively think and help people. But we're here, guys. So if somebody doesn't believe that we're here, it's not really have a point to go forward with the conversation. When it leaves traditional, whether you're talking about retail, whether you're talking about ride share, whether you're thinking about content delivery, when it goes to the digital and flows to digital, a disruptor, it changes the environment. So that space is never, ever, ever the same again. So we're not going to, virtual financial is not going to get to a point. We hit the inflection point, start taking market share, and then many years later, it reverts back to the old way of doing business. It just won't happen. We'll continue to go forward. We'll continue to be on the forefront of innovation and development, and that is a big opportunity. All we're doing is taking this old, stale, stagnant industry, but a very cash-plus industry. We're changing the way business is done with digital tools, digital model, and that just flows back. So that takes market share, and when market share moves in a trillion-dollar industry, there's a tsunami of money behind that. This was from a few years ago. This was from an old presentation I did, but once again, we're here. 75% of all insurance purchases will be online by 2020. I don't know about you guys. I don't need help picking out car insurance. Those are the type of things that, you can go online. Most people can do themselves. What people need help with is financial planning. They need to learn how money works. They need to make smarter choices. So our digitalization of what we do takes us to be able to give us more reach, more efficient, less barriers of entry, less cost associated with traditional build out on the variable and the fixed side. But essentially, people are still going to need to talk to you. They're still going to need help because this process of retirement planning protection can't be fully automated. When you do change, you become a threat. And make sure you guys realize that as we go forward and we start taking a lot of market share, people are going to be angry. People are going to be upset. It's not necessarily at you. It's the fact they didn't want to change. They wanted everything to remain the same. And really, when you have that type of mentality, it's in a sense of entitlement where you want the world to remain the same because you don't want to change. So haters having anger towards everyone reaching success. Be prepared for that. And remember, a business can be revolutionary or a business can be like everything else. If we go set up a traditional model, then we got to compete. Revolutionary means you innovate. I don't want to compete in this industry. I want to have something different to offer people. Like everything else means you have to compete. We're not here to compete. We're here to disrupt, innovate, and create. So you want to ask yourself, what does my audience need to hear? Ask for what you want in the marketplace. Learn how to attract and hire talent. That's going to come over time. You're not going to be in the same place from week 1 to week 53. You're going to learn things, pick up things, get better at what you do, but ultimately you got to get past that little bit of that curve on the front end to get to the back end where you feel comfortable talking to anybody, anytime, any place about this business. And understand your generations. Remember, a lot of people do the same marketing. They don't understand that baby boomers, Gen X, and millennials, they came up during different times. They have different views of the world, and they're faced with different problems. So every once in a while, we dissect one of these generations. And today, I just wanted to show you guys that millennials, we've been referring to those, but they're here in a point where 1 in 3 of the Americans will be a millennial by 2020. 1 in 3 purchases will be made by millennials by 2020. 1.8 billion millennials worldwide, and 50% of the world's workforce will be made up by millennials. Current millennial buying power, 600 billion. By 2020, I don't know how old this is, maybe a year or so, 1 trillion. You can't ignore that, but you have to understand how they think. And they're driven by causes. So how to market to millennials, you determine your cause. Financial literacy is an enormous and great cause. And I think once you guys understand that, it's easy to start talking to this generation because they've seen 2008. They've seen a lot of them what their parents went through during those particular times. So determine the cause, promote or embed your cause in your brand, promote your message, engage with your customers or consumers, and convert those visitors to customers. Starts with a cause. I think financial literacy, how money works, is a legitimate cause that you guys can go out and feel very confident as well as proud that you can go out there and attract some of this generation. And like I said, the buying power of this generation on the client side is enormous, and the ability to bring people in. You got a millennial that you can show them a legitimate business model that can produce decades of income with some work over a 4, 5, 6, 7-year period. That's going to be attractive. Remember, most people are always concerned about money. If you really take pools and talk to people about money, they're always concerned about money, but very few truly understand how money works. If you don't learn how money works, you're going to spend the rest of your lives working for it. And that's the business opportunity. That's the cash flow asset, the passive income. But if somebody's not there mentally, you can't fix that. You can't fix their mindset. They got to have the growth mindset. They've got to understand the cash flow quadrant. They've got to understand how money works. And on the client side, they've got to understand the decisions they make today not only impact today, but greatly impact their future on a positive or negative scale, and sometimes in a very big way. So salary is what most people want to do. That's the money you make from a job. That's trading times for dollars. This is the most heavily taxed form of income, but for whatever reason, people think of that as the security. That's their security blanket. The other way is commissions and bonus. This is performance-based income. That's what our model and what most of the successful people in economies do. You get rewarded for above average production. It's always tied to revenue, and this is the only real way to control the increase of your income. And then finally is income from investing. You know why a lot of people don't have anything to show from this historic bull run in the stock market? Because they had no money to invest. And like Bill Mitchell was talking about a couple of weeks, even if you got A+ perfect credit, you don't have any money to buy anything, it doesn't matter. So this is where the mindset really starts to come into play. And if you can read people quickly, you're going to be able to spend less time with the people who you should be spending less time with and more time with the qualified applicants or participants. To be a 1%er, you got to do some things. You got to get outside of your comfort zone, and you got to do what 99% of the people will not do. In order to have that life that most people want but will never have, you got to be willing to do what they're not willing to do. And from a few years ago, 480,000 gross income adjusted was the top 1%. That's $1.4 million individual tax returns out of a total of 141+ million that year. Well, let's just say that you create 5 first-generation SVP offices. Each one of those offices has 20 sales per month. Each one of those sales averages $150. With zero production on your personal, zero production of the base income. This is just a passive cash flow asset income coming in. That's 30 grand. At those numbers, you're hitting the monthly bonuses, the quarterly bonuses. So that puts you at the 1%. It's a legit opportunity. We have income calculators that show you how to get there. The thing that you have to provide is the people. And it's frustrating, guys. I know you hire people, they don't do anything. You hire people, they disappear. It's okay. You're looking for the people like us that are willing to work for this, that are willing to go out there and do the necessary things on a day-to-day basis, because the back-end reward and result of this is huge. But most people that you talk to, if they're within the right mindset, they've also got to be willing to work for it. Work ethic is a big part of this, staying consistent on a day-to-day basis to do the activity that you need to do to produce the income that you want. And remember, this is mostly all cash flow coming back to you. You're not having offices, rent, infrastructure that you're paying for. So from a cash flow perspective, this is a golden opportunity. And remember, a job is very different from a business. And if somebody wants to remain in a job, that's fine. We can try to help them with client services, but you can't try to flip somebody from a job mentality to a business ownership mentality. And this is one of the first things that we really look at when you're talking to somebody. Where are they? Are they the employee? Are they the self-employed? Are they the business owner? Are they an investor? And if they are the employee and they view that as security, they're looking for that safe, secure job with good pay and excellent benefits, and they're happy there, you're not going to be able to move them. Same thing with the self-employed. This is independence. This is the people that want to do everything on their own by themselves. They usually have practices that, they're always there. If they're good with that and they think that, for whatever reason they are a business owner or they're happy with where they're at, once again, might be some client needs we can service. And this is an excellent part of the quadrant to go after client needs, because a lot of self-employed people wearing all the hats, things they neglected, retirement, protection, financial planning is some of those things. So these two might be good for client, but obviously if somebody is at the E or at the S and they realize that's not where they need to be, we can help them make the transfer over to a business ownership. And then from our ability to produce so much cash flow, fuels a lot of investment. So what happens when we're at the employee side of the quadrant or the self-employed and things maybe aren't working out as well financially as we would like them to? Well, we start teaching ourselves and our kids that, you got to do without. You got to make sacrifices. You got to deal with what you have. When in all actuality, if you change your mindset and change your approach to what you need to do and use your time really as an investment and don't trade it for dollars, now the mindset starts to shift. Anything is possible with hard work. Be committed to seeing something through and create the own future that you want. And that really is just a couple of suggestions. And when you get better at this, you're going to start to read people, because everybody wants something, but are they willing to work hard for something? That's the defining line. This is not a lottery where you're buying a ticket, you're going to wake up, you're going to be a multimillionaire. This is work, this is effort, this is determination, this is good days, bad days, but over a period of time, it's enough good days, enough good partners to put something together that disrupts this industry, and really, when it's all said and done, will be the envy of most everybody in this industry. Sweat equity. This is not a big financial commitment. We talked about less than $200, that's dinner and drinks out. So it's not a big deal. What we require is sweat equity. So for your ownership in this platform, for your ability to grow something that's going to be yours, that's going to pay you all this passive income, your contribution to this startup is in the form of human effort versus capital investment. It's a school, and that's why we say the first 9 to 12 months, you're really getting your bearings, you're really learning. You get paid to go to school. Your teachers, your managers in this business model will help you get paid, will help build the business around you. So as you're starting to get through that, you earn that degree in digital disruption, distribution, digital marketing. Your degree, instead of coming out with a bunch of debt that you owe and looking for a job, can really equal lifetime income. The things that we got to make sure that we also weed out early on is you can hear somebody, and when somebody comes to you and they open the conversation with their problems, with what's going on negative in their life, with why they're not at the place they want to be, this is a surefire way to fail going forward. We're not judging people on what's happened in their past. They've opened up a lot of businesses and failed. That's the entrepreneurial path most of the time. What we're looking for is the mindset. If they're complaining about everything, if they're blaming others for their problems or shortcomings, if they're never grateful about anything, that blame game is going to hold them back. If it's up to me, if it's up to be, it's up to me. You got to own it. Good, bad, ugly. You got to own what you do in your life, and you got to be grateful about the things that are going well. You got to be thankful for the support that you have, and you got to be positive going forward. Your mindset is going to create your future. Positive thoughts create a positive future. Negative thoughts create a negative future. It's really not that hard to understand. People get caught up with personality defects, their own self-sabotage. You want to get rid of those people early on in our filters, because they're probably most likely not going to be able to make it here. We also are looking for people that embrace the struggle. It's not easy launching a business from the ground floor. So yes, we want to embrace the struggle, but we also want to find people that are willing to do what's necessary to break out. You don't want to sit around and wait on something forever. Patience is great, but persistence is even better. So yes, embrace the struggle, but be willing to put in the work to break out, because if you're in this for a long period of time and you're not finding success, the grind of the day-to-day activity becomes greater and greater and greater, and that weight on your shoulder becomes too much after a while, and with little to no results, the activity seems to be not worth it. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. And that's true in anything you do, but especially in what we try to do over the past several months. Be very data-driven with your business. It's going to tell you what's working, what's not working, how to fix things, and how to become profitable. And then when you fix what's going on in your own direct business, a lot easier to help your partners. So what do you need to make $100,000? Well, $100,000 a year is $273 a day. $273 a day is $11 an hour if you have a business that's running 24 hours. We've got processing that's done on you guys' applications that are put in basically around the clock. You've got the ability to market to people with webinars, with marketing material 24 hours a day. So to make six figures, not a big task here. What you want to learn how to is create six figures and then create 6 and 7 figures on a passive level. All you're doing, visualize this. Yes, in a digital model, we've got all this great infrastructure, but just for a minute, go above the model and look down. You're creating an assembly line that's going to push off life insurance and retirement products. And really the sweet spot for our business is a lot of the business that the rest of the financial services industry is not picking up. That's $100 to $500 premium per month. Now, are you going to sell bigger policies? Yes. Are you going to sell smaller policies? Yes. But overall, if you get in the average of 100 to 5 and you create base shops and offices that can do that and create the distribution in a $1 trillion industry, taking that market share, that's a lot. That's very meaningful to us and has a huge impact on our finances, our ability to help our family, our friends, people that we never met, and create that legacy. We talked about Jordan earlier. He's missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He's lost over 300 games. 26 times he's been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. He's failed over and over and over again in his life, and that's why he's successful. When I think of Michael Jordan, I don't think of the missed shots. I think of some of the magnificent moments he had in his career. So in order to be successful, you've got to both try and fail. If you've got a fear of failure, or if you're talking to people in the outside marketplace that have a fear of failure, it's going to be tough, because getting outside your comfort zone, failing, is really going to be the most successful teaching that you can take on individually. And then with our help, you can use this as a sounding board. You can use this for strategy. But ultimately, got to go out there, trip over yourself. First few calls, rocks in your mouth. People ask you questions. You have no idea how to respond. That's going to get you closer to being able to respond, being able to control, direct that conversation. Stay dedicated. It's not going to happen overnight. And that's one of the most important things that you have to be honest with new partners coming in. If they're thinking in the first 60 or 90 days, they're going to build this out and it's going to be, this huge business, it doesn't work like that. We've got fast track, sprint track. We've got all of these tools and all of these options to get people off to a very quick start. But longevity, being able to be doing this day in, day out, stay committed, building teams, doing the activity you need to, and then embracing things as they come up. Manager activity, if you decide to be a consultant, all of these things you're going to learn and you're going to teach others. And then when you're good and done and you've done what you needed to and you've created multiple offices, you can walk away. And I promise you, you've done your job on the front side. You've got a backside portfolio with a lot of passive income where people who are coming in as an individual producer right now, by next 5, 7, 9 years, guess what? They're still going to be doing the same thing they're doing out there, chasing leads, converting sales. This is about getting from self-employed to business ownership and building something that allows you to become owner as well as investor. And guys, that's all we have for today. I greatly recommend that for your new partners as they come in, you understand what we've had. I'll leave it on David's office. You guys can see that at the end. But what we have to offer in terms of a very simplistic approach to get people interested in what we have to offer on the business or the client side, and then letting us help you close sales, interview, train, support We can make you money. We can build the agency around you. And in the future, you can step into those roles.
Thank you so much, Mike. That was such a great training. Let me go ahead and turn off the recording, and then we'll open up the floor. Give me just 1 second.